All right, it's that time of year again, isn't it? The emails start flooding in, that deadline is just staring at you from the calendar. And let's be real, filing your income tax return can feel like a massive headache. But what if I told you we could flip that script?
Yeah, if you're feeling that little wave of tax panic right now, trust me, you are not alone. It's a complicated mess of jargon and forms, but that feeling of being totally overwhelmed, that's exactly what we are going to fix today.
Because believe it or not, buried deep inside that complicated form is a real opportunity. It's a chance to get a better grip on your finances and, here's the best part, to actually save a good chunk of money. Okay, you ready? Let's dive in. First things first, let's totally reframe how we think about this whole ITR thing. It's not just some chore the government makes you do, it's actually a pretty powerful tool for your own financial health. When you strip away all the fancy words, that's really all it is, a simple declaration. You're basically just saying to the government, hey, here's what I made this year, and here's the tax that's already been paid on it. It's all about having a clean, official record of your financial life. But here's where it gets really powerful, even if you technically don't have to file. Thinking of getting a home loan or a car loan, the bank is going to want to see your last 3 years of ITRs. Planning a trip overseas, most embassies need it for a visa. And here's a big one. If your company cut more tax than you actually owe, TDS, this is the only way you get that money back. That is your money, and filing your ITR is how you claim it. Okay, so we get why it's important, but the big question is, how do we actually do it without pulling our hair out? Well, let's break the whole thing down into a super simple, manageable plan.
Seriously, forget all the noise. It really just comes down to these 4 things. 1, get your papers in order, your PAN, ADAR, Form 16, all that good stuff. 2, pick the right form, which for most of us salaried folks is just ITR 1. 3, and this is the most critical part we're about to get to, compare the old and new tax regimes to see where you save the most. And finally, 4, the last click, e-verify it with your ADAR OTP. That's it. You're done. See? Not so bad.
All right, I really want you to lean in for this next part, step 3, because honestly, this is where the magic happens. Choosing between the old and new tax regimes is the single biggest decision you're going to make, and it could literally save you thousands of rupees.
The best way to think about them is like 2 totally different philosophies on money. The old regime, that's for the investor. It rewards you with tax breaks for doing things like investing, paying for insurance, or having a home loan. The new regime is all about simplicity. It just gives you lower tax rates right off the bat, meaning more cash in your hand every month, but you give up most of those deductions.
And this chart, it lays it all out perfectly. With the old, you get to claim all those juicy deductions, HRA, ATC, the works. But with the new regime, most of that's gone. In its place, though, look at the other benefits. A higher standard deduction and an effective tax-free income that can go way, way up. So the question you have to ask yourself is, do I save more from my deductions or from just paying a lower rate? Now, this is super important, so listen up. The government has made the new regime the default. That means if you don't do anything, that's what you'll get. But the old regime is still an option for a very good reason. For a lot of people, especially if you have a home loan or lots of investments, it can still save you more money. You have to actively choose. So, how in the world do you choose, right? Without needing a math degree? Well, let me give you a super simple rule of thumb that'll make it easy. We're going to call this the break-even rule. It's just a quick and dirty way to figure out which team you're likely on based on how much you can claim in deductions. Okay, here's the first magic number I want you to remember, 3.75 lakhs. Just take a moment and think about all your possible deductions, your ADC, HRA, home loan interest, all of it. Add it all up. If that grand total is more than roughly 3.75 lakhs, then boom, the old regime is almost definitely your winner. The tax savings you get from those huge deductions are probably going to be way more than the benefit of the lower rates in the new regime. Now, on the flip side, we have this number, 1.5 lakhs. And you probably recognize that. It's the classic ADC limit. So if your total deductions are on the lower side, say less than 1.5 lakhs, then the new regime is pretty much a no-brainer for you. You just don't have enough deductions to make the old one worth your while, so you're much better off just taking advantage of those lower tax slabs. Simple as that. All right, deep breath. You've got your documents. You've made the big decision on your regime. You're on the home stretch. Let's just run through one final checklist to make sure you nail the landing. First up, the big one, July 31st. Put it in your calendar, set an alarm, do whatever you need to do, but don't miss it. Here's a pro tip. Always check your Form 26AS and AIS on the tax portal. That's what the government thinks you earned, so you want to make sure your numbers match. And remember, you're not done until you e-verify. And of course, if you did go with the old regime, just keep those investment proofs somewhere safe. And just like that, you did it. You took that tax panic and turned it into a plan, and that plan into actual power savings. So the real question isn't about how to file your taxes anymore, is it? It's about what you're going to do with all that money you just saved. How are you going to put it to work for your future?